about? Say you don't know the Cleveland beat. What you talking about? Say you don't know the Cleveland beat. You must be crazy.
Greetings, everyone. I'm your host, Deanna Adams, and I'm here with Cleveland singer-songwriter, musician Justin Geraci, whose last name may sound a little familiar. Hey, Justin, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for being here. So, of course, we have to start. Oh, it's a pleasure. We have to start by telling the audience that your dad was one of the biggest success stories in Cleveland music history, Sonny Geraci. He had hits like Time Won't Let Me, Precious and Few, and it's obvious you and your brother Matthew, who plays drums, inherited those musical chops. What was it like growing up with your dad, and did he encourage you or warn you about the music business?
I'd have to say a little bit of both, probably. He introduced us to a lot of music and a lot of great performers and songwriters and people that came before, but he never really pushed us that direction. I think we just kind of started doing it, and we were so enamored with all that music that we picked it up ourselves. But he never really pushed it on us or anything like that. And there were a lot of horror stories of the music industry, that we'd been hearing growing up, and of course we got into it anyway.
Right. Well, at least he gave you the cautionary tales, which is important.
Yeah, he did. A lot of it was useful. So it's it's a rough business. So.
Yeah, but you're obviously you have that talent. You write, record, produce all your own songs. At what age did all this start?
I started playing. My grandfather was a drummer, and he was really good. And when I was young, 8, 9 years old, he would show me the drums, and I kind of started there, and then it led to guitar and piano and things like that. So I around that age, I got serious with the guitar probably when I was about 11 or 12. And I just started playing Led Zeppelin and Rolling Stones and stuff, classics, and teaching myself while taking lessons. And so.
Well, that's starting pretty high up. It's not like Little Black Egg, like a lot of musicians that started at that. Wow.
Right.
That's impressive.
Right.
You play guitar, bass, keyboards, drums. Do you have a favorite instrument?
No, not really. I mean, my primary is guitar, I would say. I've always kind of been on guitars, and bass is kind of an offspring of the guitar. So on a lot of the records we do, I'll play the bass on the recordings, and guitars and all that. So.
And you have a lot of original
But I like
material.
playing all of them. Sometimes it's fun to just sit in with someone and play the drums. It's something different. You can really have a lot of fun with it, or play bass even sometimes. So.
Yeah, it's great to be versatile, because you can kind of be all over the place musically. Songwriting, does that come easy for you?
I wouldn't say that it's easy. I started doing it around 16. Just experimenting with it a little bit here and there, and I understood it. I felt like I understood it, like how to do it, or if there's even a right or wrong way to do it. But it was always, it's still, even to this day, it's very hard. It's kind of like, it makes me feel like I'm doing like mathematics or something. Like it's that my brain feels the same way when I write music. Trying to find a solution, to the song.
At age 16, you have a lot of teenage angst, so that always helps in songwriting.
Right. A lot of my songs probably came out that way too. So back then.
And you signed a recording contract in 2010 with Lady Gaga's producer. How did that come about?
Yes. I had been in LA for a number of years. I was probably there prior to that, probably about 3-4 years. And we had just been playing the circuit, the Viper Room and the King and all these various places, the Roxy. And I think we just, one thing led to the next. We met a person who knew a person and got contacted by a person, and that person I still work with to this day. So he was working for Red One at the time, and he brought us in, and Red One was really into it, and yeah, so that was a whole new venture.
Yeah. Oh, and what a compliment too. And you wrote and co-produced songs that featured in TV shows like Modern Family, Dancing with the Stars. That had to have been exciting.
Right. Yeah, it's nice to know that someone out there is listening to what you're doing, and you're kind of doing your thing, and you can out there you can get a phone call anytime that there's something exciting happening, or so yeah, moments like that are always fun.
Really, and you're back in Ohio, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything with the pandemic, I was in Nashville for a while, and then the pandemic happened, and they had tornadoes down there. So since then, I've been here about a few years. So,
tell us about your latest projects and what kind of. I understand your music's a blend of pop music and alternative pop. Give us a little idea about your music and your latest project.
I actually went in, and during COVID, we had kind of been halfway through an album, but prior to COVID, and then we went in and just said, well, let's just finish an entire album. So we went in, made an album, really with no restrictions or anything like that. We just said, let's not try to pigeonhole it and make it a certain style or certain sound. Let's just do whatever we're feeling works, and whatever we had at hand. Because all the big studios were closed and whatnot. So it was, trying to work from home and bring in certain instruments or whatever it is we needed or song called for. But it's we call it alternative pop because there is a pop element to it, but it's certainly not what you hear on the radio. I would say, like modern radio. I mean, I think maybe it could be one day, but we're not really shooting for that. It's definitely left of center in the way that we approach it.
Yeah.
So.
And
you'll hear familiar influences and things from pop culture, pop music when you listen to the album.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
A little merging of all that, and that's what makes it original and unique, for sure.
Yeah, when you're not trying to copy anything, you're just kind of going in and doing it how you hear it and what you're feeling. Instead of a lot of times in the past it's try to sound like something and it doesn't work. Nobody believes it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you have to be genuine and true to yourself and your music.
Right. Right.
You have a new song out called "Crawl," and it made it into the semifinals of the 2021 International Songwriting Competition. Out of 21,000 semifinalists, make up only 11% of all the entries. That is so awesome.
Yeah, that's right. It's a lot of songs. Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always, anytime that you find out someone's listening or that you've advanced into another level, it's always surprising, and then you're happy about it. Yeah, I just get happy that someone's listening to it somewhere, someone's, enjoying it, I mean, that's, you enter contests not necessarily to win, but just to kind of be a part of the community of songwriters and things like that. So yeah, it was exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not about making money when you're an artist. I know as a writer, we don't make a lot of money, but if people enjoy what we do and create, that is what makes it, and be able to perform it or, just get it out there. So, And so Crawl is now available on all digital media. Do you have anything else coming up as well?
Yeah. Yeah, we're putting out a series of songs, so we're putting them out pretty frequently at this point. So we're just kind of picking ones from the album that we feel, and we won't put them all out, but a good number of them. I'm just kind of going against the grain and just putting them out when I feel like it. Most people aren't doing that today, but I just figure get the material out. It's there's no format to the music industry right now. It's all over the place, so kind of have to just do what works for you. You know, if you feel like putting one song out every 2 years, and if that's best, then that's good. But if you feel like putting more out, and I'm kind of in a place in my life where I'm just putting out my catalog and, you know, anything that I feel I want to work on, you know.
That's a good spot to be in, you know. It gives you a little more freedom.
Right.
You know.
Right. And that, you know, that's the thing. It's almost, today it's dangerous to sign things with people. You know, it's you know, it's a DIY industry, you know, it's do it yourself. So there's a lot you can do on your own today. That's one of the pluses. And there's a lot of negatives to today as well, but that is one of the pluses. You can kind of, right. You know, yeah, it's just, it's really oversaturated out there. There's so much music. So. Yeah.
But you do have a gig coming up on June 10th. Like you did.
Yeah, I'm playing. Yeah, it's at a place called the Galaxy. It's in Wadsworth. It's just going to be a solo performance, just me acoustically. I'll play some originals. I'll play some songs from other people, other artists that I like, and other people like.
I love it. And so people can keep track of you through your website, JustinGeraci.com.
Yes.
And we will have that posted up there. And you're on Facebook? And
yes, Facebook, Instagram,
all that.
All the music's on all the digital platforms like Spotify and iTunes and all that, or Apple Music, I should say.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's great. You know, it's been a pleasure to meet you. I haven't met you. I knew your dad, and of course, I interviewed him a long time ago. You know, and I knew your mom a really long time ago, and I haven't seen her in decades. But please tell her hello. And
I will. I definitely will.
Yeah, I hope to get to meet you in person real soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you for doing the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, this is the Cleveland beat, live and direct, in full effect. Hey, what you talking about? Say you don't know the Cleveland beat.